Hello, hello, and we're back with some more Final Fantasy XIV. I'm gonna see about getting to the dungeon and trial today, at the very least. Alright, so here we go, talking to Urianger, following that emotional moment on the last stream. So, Hither Yarns, the pall of anxiety over Shirley and Hamlet has thinned to more manageable levels. Urianger says, "Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporrits." Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. Thancred says, as a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alice. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she'd less like to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. Alright. So, let's go find Alice. This way. Up and over. Here we go. Big area down here. There she is. Alright, Alice says, "What are you doing out here?" No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Well, I appreciate the assistance, she says. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Alright, so deliver the crates to Alphino. Have 3 minutes to complete the task. Yada yada yada. And we're this way again. Can't sprint. Alright, so tote. And there's Alphino. Alright, let's drop him off with him. He said, and Alphino says, "Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You could put that there with the others." You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Oh, you know. Alphino says, then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. Elise says, that should be everything. Are you sure? Alphino says, you carried all that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Elise says, oh, hush. They're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we've finished. Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him, says Alphinaud. Elise says, why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Alright, back that way. Or actually, onward this way. Let's tune to that aetherite as well. First, we're going to talk to this chocobo thief. Oh, I don't need to use it, but I like to unlock him at least. Make sure to get the aetherite. And let's talk to Theopoldin. Gods! It never ends, does it? What can I do for you? Elsie says we've brought samples from Shirley and Hamlet. Series 110? The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fortuno's children, are you not? Alphino says, Alphino and Elise at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it. Theopoldin says, quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. It's good to see you again, wielding your father's no less. Elsie says, you knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray, spare no detail. Theopoldin says, I should like nothing more than to regale you, unless I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. Elsie says, we can help with that, in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Theopoldin says, very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? More fetching and toting. Feel like a dog's body. Elise says, wait, right here. Okay, where's mine? Theopoldin says to me, you will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Elise, I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna get back on my bike. And there we go with the representative. Hello there. Reserved representative says, are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Aether Burner. Yeah, here's your signed documents. Theopoldin's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hand at last. As for your other tasks, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlayan has ever been a nation of the curious. 'Twould be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. Alright, back to Theopolis. Alright, are we gonna get enough XP between now and the dungeon? Alright, Theopolis says, quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. Done enough fetching and toting to... Alright, Theopolis says the twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. LSA says we return, with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons. You will note. The Apollon says, you both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes and... LSA says, that's quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear. We asked to hear, to reiterate. Of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the love of your name garners such respect in Charlayan is your family's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Necromph's Hope, a lineage few can claim. LSA says, I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Elvenerd says, nevertheless, it was traditionally made a point of pride. 'Tis why in our pronouncement, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Theopolis says, until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Loisois looked not to Necromph's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient philosophy and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. Elsay says, there will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it's indolence. Theopolis says, you remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Loisois lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlayan or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortuno could not reconcile Loisois' deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortuno agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. Alphino says, Gods, Father. Theopolis says, a son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? God's no fortune I was a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you'll agree. Elsie says, I'll say. Alphino says, thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Theopold says, try not to get me into too much trouble. You hear, okay? I need the form on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure these specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Ah, mysterious voice. Hail, you three. Ah, it's Graha. Elsie says, Graha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already. Graha says, for better or worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. And here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Alphino says, unfortunately, LSA and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. Hey, Jody, how you doing? LSA says, what about you? Can you spare the time? Graha says, perfect. This shouldn't take long. Alright, what's Graha got to say? Once forged, an unspecified task awaits you. Graha says, in the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Kokol wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kokol's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of aether being funneled to his furnaces. I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Graha says, the flow of fire-aspected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. LSA says, this is where we part then. We'll see you in Charlayan Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. Graha says, this way then. You can count on me. Alright. And off we go. That is a fancy little pool over there. We've almost gone full circle around this thing. Alright, here's Graha. Look at this place, and to think it's all underground. Alright. Graha says the reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire aether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water-aspected aether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this will attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself. Trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Alright. Oh, wait here, if you would. Survey the designated location, huh? Ah. Down here. Of course it starts raining. Oh, there's more. And more. Alright, and we'll survey that again. Oh, here comes Graha. Did everything go smoothly out here? Sure did. Graha says, I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water aether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. That's pretty. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alleg, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allegans' efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world. Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Alleg's empire to encompass the heavens and stars above. Perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Ammon. So what'll I say? Ammon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars? Or did he remember his life as Hermes? It is a very, very interesting game. And it by no means leaves your emotions behind. It'll reach up and grab you sometimes. So what am I gonna say? Did he remember his life as Hermes? Says, I believe he had his own reasons. There's no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Asians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alig that moved Ammon to resurrect Emperor Zandi. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zandi's return, Ammon provided those languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zandi been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Ammon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Ammon was appalled by how those around him lived, and could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokol is getting on? You know, if you have PC, they have a heck of a good deal with a free trial even for this. And now is a great time to get started, as it's getting lots of activity again with folks coming back, getting ready for the expansion that's coming up. Alright, so let's go speak to Kokol. 110 to the west? Okay, I'm looking for an Aether Current. I don't need to deal with that. That is a hunt. There it is. I'll just grab that Aether Current since it's along the way. Okay, yeah, you wouldn't be able to play it on iPad, sadly. At least that I'm aware of. Well, here we go. Talk to Kokol again. Kokol says, "Whew! I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. Alright, Coco says. Alright, so bonds of adamantite. Coco Dickel is, as usual, worked up over the Aether burner. Sigh. I do trust you to deliver on your promise, I do. Only, I hate waiting. I want that adamantite and I want it now. Says, we share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime? I wish. This sitting about, it's unbearable. Pity the forum frowns on recreational explosions. Well, no, so long as they can't prove it was premeditated. Get ye gone. I've mistakes to make. Says, in that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain there are other uses, or better uses for your time, however. I will join you in Charlayan Hamlet anon. Alright, bud. Wait at the destination, huh? All the way over there. I'm just gonna be lazy and take the teleport. So, Jody, I'm trying to get through all of this story that is from the current expansion before the next expansion goes live, because I'd like to stream that, hopefully, fingers crossed, in a much more timely manner this next time around. But that will, in some part, depend upon queues. And wait times for getting into the game. Alright, so here we are at the destination. If you wait here, your companions are bound to turn up sooner or later. Await my companions. Wait. I guess I didn't have to rush after all. They would have made me wait anyway. There we go. Here they come.
All set, I take it?
Oh, hi, Ishtala.
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
Our consultations with the Loperites, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have, for the most part, been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Alphino, are you there? It's me, Cryle.
Such convenient timing.
Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbour at once.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbour. Your presence is requested, with all speed.
Now, where might this delivery be? Oh.
Oh my.
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
By the 12! Surely, these can't all be.
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
It's enough to give this little murdered midget a little bit of a heart attack there, huh? He's just salivating looking at all this stuff.
And more on the way. Got your adamantite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalamon shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. I played a vital role in keeping a lookout whilst our expeditionary forces secured the adamantite.
Yeah, all the way to the entrance. You gotta give him credit for that. All the way to the entrance. All the way to the entrance.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Take that back!
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
My, what a grand welcome party.
Hancock and Soroban.
We come bearing relics both sacred and allegan, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of the Kojin. Upon learning of your need, Bunchin bade me deliver it on behalf of the Blue with all haste. Fearing I could not swim here with the necessary speed, however, I thought to beg our Confederate allies for aid. To my delight, Hancock was already preparing for departure at the self-same port, and had space for additional cargo.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time.
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenard Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
We funded the venture? When?
Don't let the name fool you. This coin-keeper knows a thing or two about spending. When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount.
Should have known.
We also had the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. We even had coffers to fill.
Mother!
Millions.
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And 'twould be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent.
Teeny tiny toy boat.
Waste not.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways? Erenville, you were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryle after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlian. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless, undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guildship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon? And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problem's a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
Sid, you brought the team.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
As you like us not suspect, we've also brought adamantite for Mordona's Dalamud Shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kryle's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now. Far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters
not least among them. Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat Han not have more pressing concerns?
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Summer, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. Ashdai's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Hrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, gave his assent. Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
We absolutely adore her.
Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent. Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
Get him a bib. Maybe a napkin. Seriously, he's drooling.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the science end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
Are you winning, kids?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, Share your struggles with me. As family. You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. It was love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisoix openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Carteneau. As we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you.
Exactly, Jody. Exactly.
No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Amelians. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You've no small number of friends and admirers here, after all.
So what am I gonna say? Lend us your strength, our moment of triumph is close at hand, or with me. Our moment of... nah, with me. So, from my understanding and memory, and recollection, the more of the game you've
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
the more side stuff you've done, the bigger that crowd is. Hey. Well, they definitely brought us to the docks. Okay, let's talk to Alphino. Alphino says we finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineers' capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. As was agreed, he will reveal the means by which Hyland may be contacted. We are to meet him in Aporia when we're ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the Form's methods for speaking with her is not without risks. I am curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned. Tadru says, most of those who arrived with the adamantite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks that need doing. The Forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing. Thank you, Tadaru. We're off to Aporia then, said Alphino. Okay. So to Aporia. I'll take the teleport. Alright, and there's Foshino. Alright, Foshino says, I've already shown the others inside. You will want to speak with Clara Lane. She has the key to the lift and can send you down after me. There's only room for one person in this elevator? Come on. Come on. Alright, Clearlane. Clearlane says, "You're with Master Fortuno?" "Yes?" "Just step inside the lift here." Yes, let me go down to the lower levels. Well then. Alright, Fortuno. He says, "From here we proceed to the heart of Labyrinthos, and its most closely guarded secret. Thamazine. Alright. It marks the beginning and end of our efforts, once we delve to seek audience with the star, and once we will embark on our journey to the heavens. This way, if you please." Alright, well, guess what? I'm desecrating this with my motorcycle again. Vroom vroom. That bike is from Mount Station. It's the Fenrir. Alright, Fortuno says, "I bid you welcome to Thamazine. Direct your attention toward its center to behold the ark over which we have long labored." Alright. Your teeny tiny toy boat? Teeny tiny toy boat. Yes, from Mog Station. It was also, I believe, one of the items that was from FanFest, but they made it available through the Mug Station. It has a slight increase in ground travel speed over other mounts, which makes it a particular favorite when you're playing an expansion before you've got flight. And hi there, Sage, how you doing? Alright, so Fortuno says, "As you can see, it was designed as a medium-sized craft, the better to reduce fuel consumption. Miniaturizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. The Aether Burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we shall reattach it soon enough." So, basically they're saying it's bigger on the inside because they shrink stuff to put it in there. Yeah. I have received word that Kokol has several of your allies are working on it with an intense fervor. Alphana Erd says they are sure to see it done. 'Twas by their expertise that a prior disaster was averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford as much time for speaking with Heidelin ere they finish. Fortuno says, "Point taken. Let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, to treat with her is not a simple feat. So Forshno says now, I have done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? Sure am. Quest complete. Ah! I am just shy of the experience. Okay. Well. I can't pick up this quest yet. I'm gonna go for an alliance raid. Although that's a little bit on the wasteful side, it is adventurer in need DPS. Less than 5 minutes? Alright, come on. I could also go... be about other stuff. I wondered if I was going to come up a little bit short, and clearly I did. Alright. We'll go over here. And I'm actually going to withdraw from that. I'm just going to go do a side quest. Or two. What am I to do? Fret says... Oh, you're the adventurer who helped out the students of the Baldacian... helped out the students of Baldacian, aren't you? I suppose it matters not to you, but my son seems to have run away. Oh boy. Why was there a child here in the first place? I thought only researchers lived here. Ah yes, simply put, my wife and I work at Phaera, and she happened to conceive whilst we were living here in the Hamlet. Alright, I assure you we had many sleepless nights wondering if we could quit our jobs and leave Labyrinthos or entrust the child to a friend of ours who dwells somewhere more suitable. Ultimately, we decided to continue our work whilst raising the child here. After all, our research is focused on the very future that our offspring will inhabit. The issue is, however, that the magic that prevents us from revealing anything confidential is too potent to be used on children. Of course, we can't allow the little one to roam freely. There's no telling what he might impart into others, so he has spent his entire life thus far within the confines of Charlayan Hamlet. We recently had a slight spat with him, and, well, he decided to flee. I imagine me going after him would only make things worse. Could I ask you to talk to him in my stead? I'm sure he would be much more willing to listen to, anyone other than his parents at this point. Alright, they said, thank you. Verpaline, my boy, is most likely at the plaza to the east. I cannot imagine he'd struck out any further on his own. Alright. Let's actually put that back in for that. It's probably normal rates. About 5 minutes on that one, too. Okay. Well, we'll see how the quest goes, and if the duty pops before I get done with the quest. Excuse me, where is this kid? Around this little red bird here. There we go. Whoa, who are you? Alright. Speak to the boy again. He's up that way now. Yeah, the SDS Fenrir is the bike. Up we go. Pauline says I am not going to go home so easily. You probably won't believe me either, but I've noticed that all is not right in Labyrinthos. What'll they say? Why don't you try telling me first? I can decide what to believe on my own. Thank you. Alright. The boy says, fine. I shall tell you what I've seen. The color of the artificial light here changed recently. I'm sure most people haven't noticed, but when you've spent your whole life here, the difference is like night and day. Even so, no one will take me seriously when I bring it up, all because of my age. Got into a big fight with Father about it. But Labyrinthos is in danger. Who knows what would happen if the artificial sun broke? That's why I can't go home just yet. I need to get to the bottom of this first. Although I'm scared to venture outside on my own. They say there's countless monsters out there. I don't suppose you could come with me? I could pay you. It's not much, but I do get pocket money from my parents. What am I gonna say? I'll gladly take your money, or you don't need to pay me. You don't need to pay me. I thought you were different from the rest, but now you're treating me like a child, too. This is a proper deal, alright? You've got to take my money to make it binding. Then it's settled. Alright. Complete that, and do I level up? Yes. No, I did not get the level. Well. Okay. I'm ready to go if you are. I need another... not quite 100k. Yeah. A little bit over 100k. The boy says, oh, I suppose I should tell you a bit about the artificial sun first. It's got an engine called a reactor that burns with fire ether. My theory is the reactor has too much ether now, and that's what's changed its color. Ergo, we should go to Phobios. I know someone who works there helping to control the artificial sun. I bet I'll have a look around. It's in the medial circuit, so we should head for Logisticon Alpha first. Follow me so you don't get lost. Okay. Get on the bike. I can't believe how close I was. Alright. Talk to the boy. They don't usually let me into the medial circuit, but having you here changes everything. And yes, I'm ready to enter the medial circuit. Vedalosian says, hello again, Burpalane. You and your friend are free to go through. Talk to the boy again. Okay, we'll commence that and just get that out of the way, and that will definitely give me the XP I need. But I will finish this side quest before I go back to things. Oh, I have this unlocked, I just haven't done it on this character. Looks like somebody had failed the look-away mechanic there. Could happen to anybody. Whoops, I failed at that time. leveled up. It is an ugly monster, yes. Okay, back to where I was. Alright. For Pauline here says, you have my thanks. It's so tiresome having your freedoms limited because of your age. Anyway, let's make our way to Phobius. Alright. I kinda wanna get back to the story here, guys. Leaving the side quest unfinished. So we're gonna zoom our way on over here. Alright, we're just gonna call this kid Paul. He said he can go and have a look. Wait here, I'll let you know if I find anything. Or said I can go out. Okay. Alright, he says, well, he showed me the control panel, but there didn't seem to be anything wrong. The reactor's records didn't contain anything worth noting either. The monitor says, that's what you were worried about, eh? You do realize this place has been around as long as Labyrinthos, and we've never had a single problem. Nor have we been able to confirm this change in the light's hue you speak of. Are you certain you didn't just stare at the sun too long? We advise against that for a reason, you know. It says they can talk down to me all they want, but I know what I saw. If there's nothing wrong here, then it simply means the root of the problem lies elsewhere. Let's go. Well, let's not say we did. Alright, kid. We're done playing around with you for now. I need to get back downstairs. And carry on. Alright, I'm back on my motorbike. I'm back down the elevator. Go see this little tiny toy boat. Again. Alright, so now I can talk to Portiono since I'm level 89 now. Alright, so the quest is her children, one and all. Portiono is ready to lead you to Heidelin at last. Alright, we make for the lift at the center of this chamber. Come. Alright. So you gotta go around the thing to get to the middle of it. Makes a whole load of sense. Here we go. Portiono, what do you got to say for yourself? Portiono says, as you all know, alongside our physical world exists an ethereal plane, what we refer to as the ethereal sea. At the heart of the star, the physical and ethereal are the same, one and the same. Thus, the deeper we go, the easier it becomes to pass between said planes. We utilize this principle in constructing the Aether Tower, and once more here in Thomazon. No sooner did the Forum decide that an exodus from the star would be necessary than it began work on this facility. Our work culminated in a device that allowed us to peer deeper into the ethereal sea than ever before, in search of Heidelin's ever fainter echoes. The Aetherscope. Yshtela says, and you communicate with her through this device? Portiono says, for a time, yes, but since the 7th Umbral Calamity, it has been rare to hear even a whisper. If you wish to reach her, you must journey closer to the center of the star than we have ever dared, beyond the Aetherscope. Even so, I make no guarantee that you will find her, nor of your safety, not so deep in the ethereal sea. Elfino says, we understand. But if we are to deliver this world, we have no choice but to try. Portiono says, I know. I only wish we could do more than observe your progress from afar. The Aetherscope's ocular lens, by which we may peer into the ethereal sea without placing ourselves at hazard, lies above us. Through it, we can watch and guide you. In those swirling depths, there are pockets of aether so dense and turbulent that they can unravel one's soul. If we determine that you are at risk of coming into contact with such a pocket, we will recall you with teleportation magics. To that end, it would be best if one familiar with the composition of your souls remained here to assist in assessing said risk. Otherwise, there is an increased probability that we will extract you too early or too late. Everybody look at Yshtela. Oh, Kral, okay. Kral says, please allow me. I have thought upon this much, and in truth, I do not believe that I am fit to join you in the trials ahead. The events at the Tower of Babel drained me, yes, but even before that, your capabilities far outstripped my own. This is no time to have a weak link in our vanguard, no matter how much she may wish it were otherwise. If I assist in the manner that Master Forshna has laid out, however, I may still be of use. Will you trust me to do so? Elsie says, I can think of none I'd trust more. Compared to all the effort that you put into keeping us alive while our souls were on the first, preventing us from dissolving into aether on a single expedition ought to pose no challenge at all. Istanine says, and even if we did, I expect you'd hunt us down and restore us to health somehow. Grumpy cuss. Grail says, you flatter me, but rest assured that I will be keeping a close eye on all of you. Fortuno says, there is one more thing. Those in ages past referred to the ethereal sea as the underworld, our final resting place. In its embrace, its memory washed away, leaving only the purity of one's soul, or so we believe. Yet, what of those memories? Few think to ask what becomes of them, cast adrift in ethereal tides. Some theorize that they linger for some time, those associated with strong sentiment in particular. In those deaths, memories of the departed may even coalesce around you, for hatred or for love. Thus do I caution you to be wary, but also to have faith. Remember, those who did gladly extend a hand to you, that they may lift you up once more. Alright, dungeon now available. Alright, I asked in FC chat if anybody wants to go along, and I'll wait for them, but I'm also going to queue up. 7-minute wait time, that's not bad. Alright, so Rory's going. Okay. There we go. Next person. Alright. Okay. Yeah, having a healer along, I kinda was expecting that to be an insta-pop too. Oh well. Here we go. Alright, here we go.
All seems in order with the lens, and I trust you can hear me. Those things are pure malcontent, the residue of lives unfulfilled.
see mutant Hilbert here. Huh. Tyrant's memory, huh? Interesting. You cannot take this from me. Never will I surrender my throne. Huh, okay. Oh, it's Livia. Again. What a pain in the butt she is. Frustration's what she's gassing. Figures.
Follow the flow of ether. It will guide you.
Oh, there's the current. And down we go.
The ether is too dense. I'm losing you.
aided us. Kind-hearted knight this time. So, horsey cart. Alshafat. Really are digging into stuff. They're digging up bones with us. They've done that a lot in Endwalker. No thread go untied. As my life belonged to the Empire, in death I shall... Okay. Ah. Alright, Rin Tin Tin, we're about sick of your shit. Fall down. getting there. Just wait, Jody. Just wait till you're gonna see in a little while. Not in this dungeon, but yes, this dungeon is gorgeous. Mapping around, mapping around.
So bold, so headstrong, stubborn to the last. But this is as far as you go. Oblivion beckons!
This is not the matchup that I really look forward to. Oh, it's ghastly.
Many faces have I worn, but this is my favorite by far! You will persist in this folly no longer! The stage is set! Let the curtains rise for the main attraction! What a boorish audience you are!
across there. Oh. Phew! We did it!
Lies! All lies! Your dreams, your hopes, your futures, delusions and lies!
Huh? Everybody's gone already. Alright, let's head on out.
My very essence begins to wane. Sweet, sweet agony.
Leave this to her.
Come to deal the coup de grace. Good. Watching you struggle against the inevitable is bad comedy. Erase me from existence, soul and all.
What am I gonna say? Have you any memories of Medion, or do you recall your days as Hermes? I want to know if he remembers Medion.
How would you know that name? Then it was you. In Elpis. With emet-selch. The final pieces fall into place. In my halcyon days, as the mortal Ammon, I was haunted by a dream. Night after night, the faceless multitude, the voiceless cries, shards of shattered memories. But slowly, the fog began to clear. This was Elpis. And I was Hermes. Recurring though it was, I paid this dream little heed. It was only when I was granted the seat and memories of Fandaniel that I knew these visions to be true. They were the memories of Hermes that he himself erased using the power of Kairos. Or so he thought. In his attempt to burn away the events of that fateful day, he succeeded only in searing them more deeply into his soul. My soul. Death failed to expunge them. No matter how many times it came. Rebirth after rebirth, from one Fandaniel to the next. I wonder, is emet-selch adrift somewhere in this ethereal sea? In defeat, finally remembering your time together in Elpis? How it must gall him to be entrusted with knowledge of the final days, only to be rendered powerless to act upon it. So many lifetimes dedicated to restoring his beloved Amarok in blissful ignorance. Oh, folly! But make no mistake, my life as Hermes is not the reason I invited the world's end. I have lived. I have struggled. I have dredged the very depths of despair. And in the detritus of existence, I found the truth. I served a great ruler, powerful beyond measure. The world his dominion. Yet even he and his vast empire were destined to fall, to become one with oblivion. At the end of life's journey lies only death.
This guy's being such a drag.
So I ask you, why live at all? We betray, we torment, we murder. We are wicked, spiteful creatures, without exception. If life is so sacred, so precious, why fill it with such misery? Man wallows in a hell of his own making without purpose or meaning. To live is to suffer, and I would end that suffering by my own hand. It matters not if it flies in the face of all believed right and just. Death is the only solution!
Here we're going to have to we're going to have to agree to disagree.
That is my truth, my answer to the question. And yet, even as the words pass my lips, I am filled with doubt. Has my search reached its end? Was this the only way? After all these years, is this the answer I was hoping for?
The lamentations of the damned. How it vexes me to see your conviction falter at the last. Daniel. Still clinging to existence, I see. You, who champion death so fervently, unwilling to accept your own, refusing to be purified and swept into the sea of souls. As do I. We prisoners to memory, watching as the world turns. Though unlike me, you will be spared the ignominy of having your corpse made a puppet, dancing to another's tune.
Is that Arsahe?
How very astute. But let me be clear, I have not come to consort with the likes of you. Nor have I come to bemoan the state of the world following my untimely demise. In fact, I delight in mankind's downfall and the anguish it brings the savior of the savages. If I played some small part in the chaos, all the better. Not that I was in any position to resist. But to be made accomplice to the betrayal of Lord Xenos. I would die 1,000 deaths to exact my vengeance. Now you are at my mercy. I shall drag us both into oblivion, and you will never see the fulfillment of your magnum opus.
You know, as much as I would love to drop Asahi headfirst into a vat of acid, I can understand him being pissed off about having had his body snatched.
Even should you be reborn, your desperate search for answers must start again.
So what am I gonna say? I'll do what must be done. Just a stoic stare, or next time we'll find the answer together. I'm ever one for hope. We'll find the answer together.
Even here, even now. You have every right to hate me. For the fool I was. For the monster I became. But I will not beg forgiveness. The tale of Hermes, the man who knew so much, yet understood so little, ends here.
Don't try to follow me. I had more of you people than I could stomach in life. Never mind in death.
Likewise. I pray we do not meet again.
You had better hope not.
Finally, something we can agree with that bastard on. Pretty.
Come. Hydaelyn is waiting.
Brave travelers, I welcome you.
This is not the Barbie that we were looking for. Or is it? Alright, so what am I gonna say? We meet again, Vana, or you look different. You look different.
I see. Thou didst journey unto Elpis. And now, the rivers of time converge. I know why you have come, yet I would hear you speak your reasons all the same.
Why, to kick butt and chew bubblegum.
You created the moon to deliver mankind from the final days. But is that really how it has to end? We do not wish to abandon this world. We want to protect the source and all of its shards.
To flee is but one of two paths. The other leadeth to Meteon, far beyond the stars, where she doth chant creation's requiem. Her domain is formed of dynamis, pure, absolute. Where emotion and memory govern all, ether will avail you naught. Meteon hath gathered the pain and despair of countless stars, and to go unprepared is to go unto your doom.
We'll beat her. We'll win. I swear it. Is what I might have said, once. After everything I've seen, all the times I've succumbed to my own anger and fear. I can no longer pretend that courage and faith will be enough. But are we truly so powerless? That our only choice is to flee?
Far from it, my child. Long ago, the inhabitants of myriad stars, many more prosperous than Atheris, sought to free their worlds from life's woes. Sorrow and anger, conflict and hostility, despair, and even death itself. But as Meteon reported, every attempt ended in failure. Darkness abideth within every living being, and can never be cast out. Neither reason nor faith can challenge this immutable truth. To live is to suffer, and in suffering, find strength, and purpose, and hope.
Heavy shit here.
As you have done so many times before. Thou dost pursue an impossible dream, yet knowing this, you pursue it nevertheless. And thou hast learned to depend on others as they do thee. Thy yearning for the power to save the powerless hath ever driven thee to greater heights. Thou hast grown strong. Though those closest to thee no longer walketh by thy side, their love remaineth thy guiding light. For duty's sake, thou hast been bound by truths unutterable time and time again. Yet thy heart hath never wavered, as thy companions will attest. In thy pursuit of mysteries great, all thou believest is brought into question. Undaunted, thy thirst for knowledge remaineth unquenched. The fires of hatred that once burned in thy heart burneth no more. From their ashes doth spring the light of love, warm and pure. As witness to black calamity, thou despaired at man's helplessness. Resolved, thou didst unite a distant world on the brink of collapse. And thou, my champion, when all did seem lost, thou never abandoned hope. For every trial and every foe that did bar thy way, thou hast proven equal to the challenge, drawing courage from the many bonds forged on thy journey. You have all known despair, and though the end approacheth, you walk on, heads held high. Therein lieth your power, the strength to silence the song of oblivion.
Then there is a means to confront her.
Yes, if you should prove yourselves worthy. Hark! Nigh impossible is it to send mortals to the edge of the universe. Should you fail, there will be no second chance. As the will of the star, I ask of you this. Do you possess the fortitude to stand firm when all around you doth crumble? Do you possess the faith to vanquish despair itself? Should you lack the strength to best a supreme deity, I cannot allow you to make the journey. You must leave this star and never return. Prepare yourselves.
Prove ourselves worthy, eh? Sounds straightforward enough.
Aye. No room for confusion there. In any case, we've come too far to back down now.
I am of the same mind. What power I have, I shall bring to bear.
The three of you seem to be forgetting who we're up against. It's not every day we battle a divine being of untold power. Well, not quite every day. Do try not to get underfoot. Needless to say, there'll be no margin for error.
Let us hold nothing back.
For the people of this world and those beyond the rift.
Alas, the question I posed to thee in Elpis hath remained unanswered these long years. I would hear thy response, warrior of light, shouldst thou emerge victorious.
Well then. All that to unlock the trial. Alright, so I'm just gonna hold on a minute so that people can get here. They had a trial pop, or a normal raid pop, so... Alright. Gang's all here. And there we go. Let's get this queued and hopefully less than 5 minutes. Alright, alright. That's promising. This floor is so pretty. It's so shiny. Ooh, here we go. Hope that other healer locks in. There we go.
The last of my kind shall test thee. Come, prove thy worth!
But I thought you were our friend.
Have you the strength of will to alter man's fate? A change of arms. May the test continue. We're near or far.
Oh.
And now this! Light unyielding! By blade!
Ow. I fell down. Okay, that's out.
Light unyielding! By blade! Crystals of light, to me! Here! The song of creation's end. Feel. The sorrow at hope's demise. Think. And find your way in the darkness. Follow your light. Or fly, my children, and never look back. Then you are resolved. But this test is far from over. By crystal's light, Light unyielding! Refulgence eternal!
Whoops. Alright. Now what are we getting? And that's an enclosed.
We're near or far! We're high or low? By blade! Succumb not to fear! We're near or far? Light unyielding!
Oh, Jesus.
By blade! Where near or far.
I hit the wall. I thought it was further in. Oh no.
By blade!
It was all going so well, too.
Have you the strength of will to alter man's fate?
Alright. We got this.
A change of arms. May the test continue. Where near or far.
Don't trust my backflip button.
And now this. Light unyielding. By blade. Where near or far. By blade. Crystals of light. to me. Here. The song of creation's end. Feel. The sorrow at hope's demise. Think. And find your way in the darkness. Follow your light. Or fly, my children, and never look back. Then you are resolved. But this test is far from over. By Crystal's light. Where near or far. Where high or low. Light unyielding! Refulgence eternal! By blade! Succumb not to fear!
These waves.
where near or far. Light unyielding!
Thanks, guys.
At last, man has the strength to.
Whew. That one is always a workout.
No! This can't be happening!
Though my power is in constant flux, I have always kept a reserve for this very moment. It was a true test of your prowess. You have done well.
There is one thing I must ask. By sundering the world into 14 shards, the ether of all living beings too was divided. This reduction would in theory allow us to more easily interact with Dynamis. Having seen mankind brought to the very precipice of extinction, you wished for us to develop a means to overcome despair. You believed we had the potential, and sundered all creation to see it fulfilled, to deliver us to that swirling maelstrom of Dynamis in which our foe hides, and grant us the power to defeat her once and for all. Is this not true?
It is as thou sayest. 'Twas the trial to which I subjected mankind, and it hath led to untold bloodshed and suffering. There was no kindness, nor justice in the tragedy I wrought. When confronted with the almighty Zodiac, my only recourse was rend him and the world asunder, that his power be diminished for a time. And so it came to pass. Now you, my chosen, have surpassed my expectations, surpassed me. I entrust the fate of the universe unto you. This crystal contains the memory of Meteion's passage through the stars. Deliver it unto the Loporrits. They will guide you to her.
Though they may be capable of crossing great distances, there is a vast difference between traveling to the moon and the furthermost reaches of the great expanse. And unlike Meteion, we cannot simply soar on waves of dynamis to our destination.
Indeed. To make such a journey would require an astronomical amount of ether. But a solution lieth close at hand.
Of course.
Yes, my child. Ever since I became the Will of the Star, the ether drawn here had slowly crystallized. They who have answered my call know it well. While I have remained hidden, it hath become the embodiment of the planet's will in my place. A faceless, omnipotent force of nature. The Mother Crystal, our final hope. Alas, I can do no more. The fulfillment of this task doth fall to you, my chosen.
Oh boy. Okay.
Now, heed these words. Darkness and light, despair and hope, as goeth one, so goeth the other. Become light, become hope. I have a gift for thee. Come closer. Long have I searched for a means to safeguard the future of this star. Though I knew failure after failure, by recalling thy tales and my promise to thee, I found the strength to carry on. Though the world is ever changing, thy thirst for adventure hath never waned. Thine unshakable resolve never ceases to amaze, to inspire. As a mark of my gratitude, I bestow this final gift. Thou dost possess the Crystal of Azum, yes?
Yeah, I think I still have that piece of candy. Back here in my pocket.
As Hydaelyn, I reside over the forces of stasis, tranquility, peace. The laws which impart stability to existence itself. I will weave this self-same power into the crystal, granting thee mastery over matter, to give form to the formless. Use it wisely, for it will not last indefinitely. As thou hast seen on thy journey through the ethereal sea, souls are drawn to thee. Mayhap this trait will prove to be a boon rather than a hindrance. It is thy hopes and prayers that enable Azam's invocations and give them life. So keep them close. But pray, remember this. When the way forward is hidden, even from the mind's eye, look not to the invocation, but within yourself. These were the words of the crystal's original bearer. With that, my work is finished. Fulfill our promise. Right the wrongs committed when the world was yet whole. Silence the song of oblivion. Teach her a brighter melody. Show her our journey is far from over.
Oh goodness, what to say? Thank you, Heidelin, or we will find our way beneath. That's the one I'm using. We'll find our way beneath.
Of this, I have no doubt. For yours is a light brilliant beyond measure. Long after I have gone, though not even my soul remaineth, my love will be with you forever, my dearest children.
Well then. Let's go talk to Porshno. He says, I am glad to see you well. Though we could roughly place your souls deep as you went, we could neither see nor hear you. Krau says the fluctuations in your aether near the end gave me quite a fright. What in the world happened? Time to explain everything. Livingway says, you mean to say Heidelin is... No, there's no time to feel our feelings. We must carry out Heidelin's will without delay. We'll find Medion if it's the last thing we do. If you wouldn't mind handing over the crystal, that is. The fancy navigator here, one... Porshno says, to the edge of the universe, where congregates the despair of countless stars, you're determined to see this through. Elfenerd says, we are. Should words fail us, we will fight to the bitter end. I know that this pains you to accept this, Would that I need ask nothing more of you. Yet we have only two means to travel the great expanse, the moon and Charlayan's Ark. I am all too aware that without both of them, there will be no exodus, but I nevertheless beg you to honor the agreement we made. Fortuno says, the forum's decision will be honored. You've earned the right to use the ship as you see fit, and I could not rescind it even if I wanted to. As it happens, I do not, and would do all within my power to aid your cause. Livingway says, with that settled, might I suggest you rest a while? Proving yourself to Heidelin is never easy, and despite our unparalleled genius, we'll need a day to make the necessary calculations. You may as well take advantage of it. Dia says, you can chart a course through the sea of stars in a single day? Ye gods! Ankred says, shall we head above ground for some fresh air then? And perhaps a nap? Naps are good. Okay. I need to go talk to Ojika in Valdacian Arsenal. Or Annex. I've got Eureka on the mind. Maybe later. Alright, this is as good a time as any to take a break. So we'll wrap up here and pick things up next time. Alright, thank you for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.